Talkopolis programming is sponsored in part by Dev Digital, innovative software solutions. The Center for Advanced Dentistry, now serving the greater Nashville area. Hi guys, welcome to Serious Startups, where we explore the nuts and bolts of successful entrepreneurship. I'm Kane Harrison, joined by Monica Selby and Dave Ledgerwood. Welcome again, team. Just want to talk about Juice Nashville, who I've got right here on my little counter. I'm doing a juice cleanse right now, which is a part, I guess, of something we're going to talk about, which is stress, how we remove stress in our life and all those different things, staying healthy to be able to be as successful as you possibly can. But this is something, you know, local businesses can obviously jump on Serious Startups and do a little bit of advertising of their products and services. So we've got kind of space down the front here where Serious Startups is, space behind us up here. So if anyone's interested in advertising with these wonderful smiling faces as endorsing brands perhaps, then of course just contact us at info@Talkopolis or at Serious Startups and we'll get something sorted. But again, the reason I brought up the wonderful juice is because we're going to talk about stress and how we perhaps manage stress and how stress affects our lives, our entrepreneurship, and the level of success we are probably trying to achieve, you know, amidst this stressful times.
And how stressful that is.
You know, and we've all got great stories in how we kind of manage our own stress. But interestingly enough, we brought the topic up because, Ledge, you have a buddy who is developed a business around this.
I do. My former business partner, Jay Tift, is got a bunch of different master's degrees and all kinds of stuff that I don't understand. But he is going into private practice counseling, and he is an expert in and a researcher of stress. And he was talking to me about, you know, the opportunities to help people with that. And I suggested that I think there's a tremendous number of people that need help with that and would be interested in seminars or workshops or ways to do that. I know that I would. You know, I don't take the time out maybe necessarily that I need to do that. I think that meditating would be a good thing to do, and then it stops. And once in a while I take a deep breath and realize I haven't breathed in a minute. And, you know, and things like that. I was saying I was driving yesterday listening to a particular meditation app that I won't name, and it force closed and crashed my phone and rebooted right in the middle of when I was trying to
throw your phone out the window.
So that was not relaxing.
Yeah, exactly.
That increased the stress.
Right. So having your meditation shut off in the middle when it's guided is not at all relaxing.
I've sort of fallen into the trap. I was saying off camera before, I don't think the last, probably a month ago, was probably the most stressed I've been in a long, long time. There was a whole bunch of things going on. We had, you know, movie premieres all over the place. I was traveling, doing so much, and still trying to be incredibly present in each one of the positions that I hold. But there was the first time where I actually felt physically like stress was affecting me. And as I've talked about before, I'm kind of a physical person. I love to go for a run and feel tired and all these different things. And being mentally tired is far different from actually being so stressed that, you know, you're just done. Mm-hmm. And I thought that I had my stress under control by doing simple things, going for a run or just taking some time out. But I don't think I was completely shutting down, shutting off and rejuvenating, and all that kind of built up to a certain point where I really had to go, you know what, enough's enough. So I definitely could use your buddy's help as well. But when I could talk, I mean, you're a mom as well. There's so many different things that you have to deal with that we don't have to deal with. Well, I don't have to deal with.
Yet.
Yet. But so, you know, talk about your situation.
Yeah. This has actually been something I've learned a lot about in the last 7 months or so, how to manage stress and life and enjoy the things that you're doing while you're doing them, which is something that you said a few weeks ago, like whenever, because you have so many different ventures, whenever you're with something, you try to be there and not think about, and that's, I actually have used that several times in the last few weeks, just think about what I'm doing. Partially because you enjoy it more. Like ideally we're doing this because we enjoy some part of what we're doing, even if it's merely working towards the, you know, the success that we're looking for. So being fully present helps relieve stress because it takes your mind off of the other things, the other 50 things that are going on. But it also helps you enjoy what you're doing. And I try to do that. I'm not always the best at it, especially during the week. But on the weekends that I have my children, I don't turn on my computer. And I have email alerts on my phone, but I'm very good about, okay, that's not something I need to take care of right away. I'm just going to swipe right and just not and that's not the Tinder version
Not
of swipe
Tinder.
right. That's not the I accept this.
She's swiping right all weekend.
Only on the
long.
weekends.
Yeah,
Only
so-
on the weekends.
only
Guys,
swipe
pay
right on the
attention.
weekends. No.
I
swipe-
find that's true. You got to turn this damn thing off. I mean,
Yeah, you just got to walk away from it. And
it's such a mixed blessing.
And what I've also noticed with the phone is it's not even that I get alerts, although I get plenty. But it's also when I'm not getting alerts, I'm
You check it, right?
You check it. You're
Yeah.
checking it constantly, and
Yeah.
so
There must be something wrong. There's no little blue light. I better turn it on and check.
make sure. Yes,
I mean,
I'm
it's
so glad
crazy.
somebody else does
You know,
that.
I mean, it really, you realize how much of your brain it gets owned by that.
Right.
And if I'm paying attention to that, there's no way I'm paying attention to my kids or the people I'm with, or so I'm being very intentional about just leave the phone, and it kind of freaks me out for a little bit, but then you just focus and you notice stuff.
And if it's 30 minutes before you answer a text, chances are the person you're talking
Right.
to will understand. It's okay.
For me, the interesting thing was leading up to like a month ago, like I was telling the story, it was one particular problem. So it wasn't the fact that I had a bunch of things going on.
Well, you're getting married. That
Wasn't the
happens.
fact that that wasn't the problem, but it certainly adds to the stress. There's no
Right,
doubt about
right.
it. But I'm very good, I think, at giving my attention to certain things when I need to do it. But I just wanted to talk about the fact we are constantly talking about that we have a lot of things going on, which doesn't necessarily have to be stressful. And the reason I say that is because in this particular instance, I just had one thing that was really stressing me out.
Right.
And it managed to spill over and affect the other things. And so did the stress compound? Yes, probably, but it was just that one thing that I really needed to fix and focus on. And so I kind of let those other things, the small things, mount up on top of that. But I think it's important to make mention of that, because for the people who are at home that are focused on one particular thing, that can still be incredibly stressful.
Absolutely.
You can't just don't have to be
Almost
just
more.
stressed out because you've got a bunch of stuff on like we do. It can just be that one little element that kind of throws you off kilter.
So there's a couple of things I would say about that. My company before this, my previous company, that's all I did. It was my one thing, and it was all I did unless I was putting the kids to bed. That was probably more stressful than now, because everything I did was riding on that one thing. I was all in, and if it didn't work, I was screwed. And so that was, some people thrive under that. It really crushed me down. I wasn't able to
I
function like
found
that.
that very stressful.
I'm not able to function like that.
I needed a portfolio, and it's like spreading your risk. It's
But
just like-
also along the same lines, I was listening to a podcast actually just this morning with Tim Ferriss and Ryan Holiday. They're talking about Stoic philosophy and that kind of thing. And honestly, I kind of zoned out and then zoned back in for this part of the conversation, so I'm not sure how they got here, but they were talking about this exact thing.
so I wasn't
Great
paying
time to
attention.
meditate.
So hey, Tim and Ryan, sorry, I totally zoned out to y'all. But they were talking about how they can't do one thing, and Tim Ferriss was talking about how one thing really stresses him out, two things makes you busy. Actually, I think it was Ryan Holiday that was saying this. One thing stresses you out, two things make you busy, but you add three or four, and suddenly you get in, there's a zone, and you figure out how to manage your time and how to manage your energy and focus and that kind of thing. I would say that's probably a personality thing, and not everybody can or would want to manage three or four things. But I know at this table, including John when he's here, all of us are of the personality type that does
Four
better.
kind of is a magic number. You have to say, like,
You
I
think?
like having 4 projects. Yeah, I don't know why, but it's definitely 4 feels like
you
I can make
count-
enough money, and it feels like I can do enough things I like.
So you're talking about 4 projects and then plus your kids. So we're really talking about 5.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have to add my kids into that. I mean, being,
from
being
a
a
work
parent takes
standpoint.
mental.
Oh, yeah. That's like at least half of life, and then you get like 4 projects on the other half.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but
I think, my rule is don't sweat the small stuff, but enjoy the little things. And
Oh, I like it.
in the sense that there is a lot of nonsense that you can get caught up in, but there's tiny little things that happen in each individual businesses that you should really just take a minute and kind of reward yourself or reward your employees or enjoy together, so that when you do get to those really difficult points, you've had those moments, and it builds this momentum and this feeling that you can all kind of get through it as well. So that would be my rule, and just basically
there's
how I
clearly
approach it.
exercise, there's
Yeah.
sleep. I mean, Sunday I finally had a few hours to myself, and I was like, man,
There's nothing wrong with
I
it.
should clean my house. It's a disaster.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you know what? I
sleep.
slept 2.5 hours, and then I watched 2 TV shows, and it was the best day I've had in a long time.
And I would say
You know?
too, adding, try your best to get a full night's sleep. And I take, on the nights that I know that my brain's going 90 to nothing, I take melatonin to help me Because when I was the
Drugs
most
in
stressed-
entrepreneurship. Now
Right.
this is a whole.
No, it's not
episode,
drugs.
yeah.
It's
Now,
natural.
that's an episode.
That's an episode.
Yeah,
right
it's natural.
there.
What else is natural?
Oh, some good stuff is natural.
Right.
Juice is
Juice
natural.
is
From
natural.
Juice Nashville. This one in
Right.
particular beats apple, kale, and ginger. And so, as much as I enjoy
Tune
this,
in for our Denver episode.
I am going to give this one to Ledge because he's incredibly sick. So
This,
Ledge,
I hope
there
that
you go,
this
mate. Tip
makes
that in your
me
gut.
all better. Whoa.
I'm sure it will.
Whoa.
But as we mentioned, we're going to close the show off. But if anyone locally wants to get behind the show, as I said, there's plenty of spots for you to be able to do it. We like to showcase local entrepreneurship, which is most of
I'll
the
wear
small
your
businesses in
T-shirt.
town.
Just saying.
He'll
Yeah.
wear anything, so including women's hosiery, I would suggest. But
That's a
Please
platinum
do that.
package.
that is how he takes
Yeah.
the stress out. But again, we've loved it. Don't forget to follow us on at Serious Startups, and all of us are on Twitter as well. We tweet this thing around all over the place. Also, we're putting it up on LinkedIn. If you guys want to join in the conversation, it is again at Serious Startups. Throw some ideas at us, and some of your businesses. Let us know what you guys are up to, and we'll definitely love to showcase them on the show. But until then, thanks again, guys, and we'll see you next time on Serious Startups.